Right, so I take it many of you have heard of a smartphone, at least in 2022. I hope so. And I'm sure also, and maybe not so many of you, but I'm sure a lot of you have also heard about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But what about a crypto phone that promises to be the future of the smartphone industry? I did a bit of digging and I think you might want to strap in for this because this is potentially a game changer. But also I have a few concerns. Intrigued? Let's dive. So before we talk about the actual smartphone, to hopefully help all of this make a bit more sense, a quick backstory on Solana itself. So Solana, or Sol as it's also known, is, according to Solana Labs anyways, the development team behind it, the fastest growing blockchain in the world and the fastest growing ecosystem in crypto, with thousands of projects spanning DeFi, NFTs, Web3 and more. Whether you take into account Solana's recent struggles, should we say, is another matter, but remember the Web3 part for later on. Now, blockchain technology in layman's terms is a digital database or a secure decentralized record of data. Decentralized meaning no one entity or individual is in control. It's kind of owned by all. Excellent for those people who believe that certain ruling entities or organizations don't necessarily have the every person's best interests always at heart. The blockchain itself collects transaction information, whether that be financial or contracts, etc., together in groups known as blocks. And once these blocks are storage filled, they are closed and linked to the previous filled block. This then forms a chain of data, blockchain. Many believe that this technology is pretty much the future of nearly everything that we do in a digital form online going forwards, because it creates public, readily viewable transaction records without the need to trust in a third party. Evidence to an agreement that can't be edited or altered by anybody. No need for a middle person, 100% secure and trustworthy. In theory. Blockchain technology can be adapted to many real-world everyday use cases like payments, house sales, etc. And whether you do indeed believe that this is the future or not, there's no denying that this is incredibly impressive technology. And that's why, quite simply, there is so much hype. Now, Solana's supporters see it as a top alternative or technically a future replacement for Ethereum, which is seen by many as the underpinning of this new blockchain world, how Google is, as an example, to the current internet and Web 2. Web 2 is for all intents and purposes centralized, dominated by companies who provide a service in exchange for your data. You are the product. Examples include Google, Facebook, Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves! Oh, what could have been. Now, Web3, on the other hand, refers to a decentralized system, decentralized apps, or dApps as is known to the cool kids, which run on the blockchain. Now, these apps, again, in theory, will look to provide services similar to the apps that we currently use on Web 2, but without collecting said personal data and without firing ads at you 24/7, etc. So how does Web 3 bring us back to Solana and their new smartphone? Well, a few days ago, Solana Mobile, a subsidiary of Solana Labs, the development team behind Solana itself, released information on the Solana Saga, a flagship Android phone, but with the inclusion of a special integration with the Solana blockchain and the idea of Web 3. Now, interestingly, the co-founder of Solana, Anatoly Yakovenko, I believe I've pronounced that right. If I haven't, I apologise, Mr. Yakovenko. Prior to his work on Solana, he was a senior staff engineer manager at Qualcomm. And I'm sure a lot of you people who follow the channel will know Qualcomm are a hugely successful company that, amongst other things, mainly deal in the provisions of huge quantities of smartphone chipsets which power the majority of the current Android phones available. Mr. Yakovenko was quoted as saying, "Solana Saga sets a new standard for the Web3 experience on mobile." Now, apparently, the phone is being designed and manufactured by the company Awesome. I see what you're doing. Whose team of engineers were behind the Essential phone. Remember that? I love that phone. Originally, the phone was due to be called the Awesome OV1, but it seems like the evolution of the name has gone to Solana Saga. The Saga is rumoured to come sporting a 6.67-inch OLED display with 12GB of RAM, 5 12GB of storage, and 3 camera lenses, one 16-megapixel shooter on the front, and a dual rear setup, 50-megapixel primary and 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensors. Now, straight away, if these rumours Straight away, if these rumours of specs are correct, the camera situation does seem to leave a little bit to be desired. No telephoto lens, for example, no optical zoom, and the 50 megapixel primary is apparently going to be the Sony IMX766 sensor, which was seen in the OnePlus Nord 2, a mid-range phone from last year. Perhaps more concerning is the expected 4,100 mAh battery cell capacity, which again, if true, is a little disappointing for a current flagship smartphone. But perhaps the real kicker here, and possibly making the Saga quite simply a non-starter, is the use of the rumoured Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip. Not because that is not a great chip currently, because it is right up there as probably the very best on the Android side and competing with the Bionic line from Apple, but the keyword there was current. This year's 2022. But we believe that even though the pre-orders are currently pretty much available now for the Solana Saga, it's not going to be retail ready to go on sale until next year, thus making already the phone outdated in terms of chipset, because presumably by then we'll have the 8 Gen 2 chip, and that will be going into competing phones from the likes of Samsung, etc. And at the supposed $1,000 price tag, the very latest chipset is not only expected, but is almost a formality in this highly competitive market. So from the sounds of it, the Saga will have to hit the ground running from its sheer uniqueness in order to fly. Some of those additional standout attributes include special security features like Solana Mobile Stack, consisting of 3 tools, a mobile wallet adapter, a seed vault, and Solana Pay. The mobile wallet adapter is a way to connect your smartphone to a hard wallet, so you can store your crypto, make transactions, all from the safety of your phone, and you don't have to then go and find a PC or laptop. The seed vault will presumably allow you to keep your recovery keys safe, all within, again, your smartphone, so you don't have to worry about passwords on bits of paper stored somewhere in your house. And Solana Pay is, as it sounds, the same as, or pretty much the same as Google Pay, Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, etc. If you wanted to pay or process transactions as a whole using Solana or other cryptocurrencies from your phone. According to Anatoly Yakovenko, the Saga will solve the problem of people needing to constantly use laptops or PCs to deal with NFTs and crypto. Raz Gokel, another co-founder of Solana, stated, "We believe opening up crypto to mobile will lead to greater adoption, better understanding, and more opportunities." And Jason Keats, the co-founder and CEO of Awesome, said, "The world needs novel hardware to embrace the future that is Web 3. Very, very interesting project indeed. Will it be successful? I have my concerns for the reasons I've mentioned. I guess time will tell. I'd love to try it out as and when it drops available on the market. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know when I post such content. I do have a video on my favourite crypto hard wallet coming very, very soon, but currently check out some of these other videos that may pique your fancy for now. I'll love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay cool. Peace out.